Namaste, Om Sai Ram. Today we are with Gautam ji once again, who's very kindly joined us in Goa. So Gautam, thank you for coming.
My pleasure as always, Nick.
And today we've got a very, very special announcement that the book on the Living the Teaching series that we've done with Gautam over the last 6 to 7 years has finally come into publication. So Gautam, thank you so much firstly for your time and insights over the years. And it's really Baba's grace this has now come into this beautiful book.
Yes, I must say I equally enjoyed the process of the interviews because it gave me the opportunity to share Baba's teachings in a relatable context, in a simple, relatable context, which is what I truly enjoyed. So I must thank you for that.
It's all Baba's grace. I'm so glad. And there were devotees over the years who had always requested that can we get the transcripts? And I would keep telling them, when we get time, we'll definitely try and do something.
Yes.
And it was your team who took this initiative. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
If you can show devotees the beautiful cover, and it's such a beautiful book.
I would like to add here a bit about the cover. I don't know if you recall, but this is the photo I saw at your home a year ago, and I fell in love with it immediately because I found it to be so unique. The main feature, of course, is Baba's feet. You see, normally we've seen book covers with an illustration or a photo of Baba's face, but I was very drawn to this style, this texture, and the symbol of the rose, which was already on the print which I saw in your home. And for me, the rose is the symbol of divine love, because you see, the bhakti path is about love, unconditional love. So, most appropriate, and as the readers will see, it is living with faith and patience, which is Baba's words of Shraddha and Saburi. So all these talks which we had through COVID and beyond, they came back to this core teaching of Baba's, living with faith and patience. And so I offer this to readers that although these talks emerged during the pandemic, they were so useful and practical based on the feedback we received that it is very relevant today because it gives us very deep insights into human nature, human behavior, how to face challenging situations. And I think one input which you gave, which is of tremendous benefit, is that at the end of each chapter is a QR code. So if someone likes a particular chapter, they can scan the code and see our conversation, which is on video, of that chapter. Now, of course, the written word is different from the spoken word. It needs to be edited so it's in a readable format. So there might be slight changes in nuance. But I think it's a great exercise to go through both.
One recommendation I have for devotees is that when you read this book, try and spend maybe a week per transcript of the episode. And as Gautamji said, we have the QR code there. We also recently launched a new journal. So if you can make your markings and write your reflections. This is a very sweet journal that came out just a few months ago. And 5 or 7 years ago, Gautam, a devotee in our group, Saimala, had done these very nice doodles. So I told her, keep continuing, and someday it will take the form of a book or something. And this came through. And I would recommend, if devotees even get this and use it specially to write your reflections, your experiences, and especially when you go through the transcripts, try and spend a few days per chapter and make your markings, make your scribblings, do your writing. I feel that will really get the essence of each of these talks then.
It reminds me of now when I used to read and I still read, I still underline what appeals to me. I have a scale, a 6-inch scale, and a pencil. I underline it and then I reread what I underlined. And it reminds me of my own guide, Ramesh Balsekar, the first time I worked with him on a book. He was inspired by an Englishman called Terence Gray, whose pen name was Wei Wu Wei. In Advaita, he was very well known. When I opened the book of Wei Wu Wei, which Rameshji gave me, I was so surprised. Not only was it neatly underlined, but it was color coded. He had red underlines, green underlines, and blue underlines. And in the margin, he said red is very important, blue is less important. But see the dedication to the sadhana of reading means the attention is so total. Otherwise, that would not happen, you see. And I myself have benefited from this practice. I tell people maintain a journal in any case to record your life's experiences, your thoughts. Because you see, Nick, over time, when you look back at what you've written, it unfolds. Your own thought processes unfold, what impacted you unfolds. Journaling is very popular in the West. And it's great that you brought this out so the Sai Baba audience, you see, they have something now, a journal to relate to. It is a Baba journal.
Yes.
So I think it's a great thing that has come out, and I noticed there are two versions. One was with lines and the other plain.
Yes, so this is a line journal, and this devotees can use for their everyday reflections. It came with the intent that this is for reflections, and the other one that doodles is for experiences.
I see.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So they come in both hardbound and paperback versions, and I feel they are a good companion, especially to this book, because this is for the serious-minded devotee. And if you spend some time marking, writing your reflections, and plus, after reading this book, when you read the Satcharita, when you go through the teachings or the videos, it then becomes a habit. Like, what can I learn from this? Am I implementing it in my life? These cues come up automatically.
Well said.
So yes, please get the book. It's a very precious jewel. And in fact, it was many devotees who would write comments that when will the transcripts come? So a big thank you to them.
Yes. Nick, I'd like to add something, if I may, on the word patience, which we've spoken a lot about in the book also, and how it tends to be misinterpreted, Shraddha and Saburi, and what we felt was the actual import of these words. But if I may, I found a very beautiful passage written by the American mystic Joel Goldsmith on patience. And when I read it, I thought that given the subject of this book and our talks, I would like to share this with the audience. So may I read out this passage? Because it just reminded me of what Baba meant by Shraddha and Saburi. This is a book called The Art of Meditation. So Goldsmith says, we have acquired the habit of impatience, and the result is that instead of waiting for God's decision to be made manifest, we let fear creep in, and then, afraid of the possibly unfortunate effects of indecision, rush in and act on the basis of our own best human judgment. So, I feel this is what Baba has been saying all along when he refers to Shraddha and Saburi. I'll just go a bit further. In spiritual living, we do not depend upon our correct human evaluation of situations. Regardless of how good our judgment may seem to be, we turn from it to the Father. The Father in this case is Sai. Father, show me when to move. Show me whether or not to take the next step and when to take it. With patience and with practice, we develop the consciousness of a beholder, of waiting on the Lord, which leads us to the miracle of life, in which we discover not only that there is a God, but that it has become the governing factor in our life. See, this I feel for someone on this path, their dedication will bring forth this way of living. We have prevented the activity and operation of God in our affairs by not waiting, by not being a beholder, by not sitting, as it were, a little to one side of ourselves until we feel that the Father is taking over. So this understanding that rather than second guessing all the time, am I doing right, am I doing wrong? For Bhakt, I feel that to first think of the Master before any decision is made is what patience is about. To surrender to that higher power and say that, all right, rather than reacting into taking a decision based on me and my limited intellect, let me pause and let that divine grace take over. So this is what I wanted to share. I thought it beautifully expressed what we were trying to convey on Shraddha and Saburi.
Maybe we can do a separate episode to go deeper into this.
Yes.
And thank you, Gautam, very much. And also thank you to the whole team that was involved in the production of this book. And I believe it's published by JACO.
It's published by JACO, and I would encourage Baba devotees to spread this message that here is a new book on the teachings of Sai Baba. Of course, they are based on the Leelas.
Yes.
But what is our view of what Baba was conveying through the Leelas, and how does it relate to us in our daily lives?
Yes. So beautiful.